Hey, what is up guys, TORMundi here, back with another Operation Boss Tactics tutorial for you for the game Star Wars The Old Republic. In this tutorial I'm going to be covering the Eternity Vault. The first boss is called Annihilation Droid XRR3. Before you actually start to fight the boss, you will have to take out his two turrets guarding him. These can do a lot of damage, so it's very important that the main tank holds aggro on both so that the healers can focus heal him. There'll be power cores littered around the turrets, and destroying these will deal damage to the turret. This is not essential on normal or hard mode, but on nightmare it can really help. Adds will also spawn at intervals while killing the turrets, but they are easy to round up and AoE down. The tank should hold aggro on the turrets while the off tank and the DPS get the adds down as fast as possible. These turrets used to be CCable, but they no longer are, so I wouldn't bother wasting your cooldowns. Once both turrets have been killed, the boss will spawn, although he will not attack the group unless aggroed, so buff up and heal up before continuing. This boss has a few abilities. One is Missile Salvo. The droid will sort of crouch down and start firing missiles at everyone in the group, and they will always hit. These can be avoided by hiding behind the dead turrets. This will break the boss's line of sight. This will last for about 30 seconds. Shockwave is the second ability. This is the 360-degree knockback that will hit everyone who is just outside of melee range. So don't stand too close unless you're melee. Sweeping Strike, this will stun everyone within melee range. Missile Barrage is his fourth ability. He will put a red target on someone, then launch a missile shortly after, which can do a lot of damage. If you get targeted by this, it's a really good idea to announce to the group so that they can put defensive cooldowns on you. You won't really have to worry about this in normal mode, however, as it does very little damage. Off-tank dot. This is his fifth ability, and he will put a dot on the person with the second most threat, which will typically be the off-tank. This will do a big initial hit, and then it will take a low amount of damage afterward. He also has an enrage timer, which varies. This boss is quite easy to manage for the first 50% of his health. Just take into account what I said about the abilities, and you should be fine. Once you get below 50%, this boss will announce Targets Analyzed Engaging Storm Protocol. He'll then start putting red targets on the floor under party members. These are really easy to avoid as all you have to do is step out of them. They can do a lot of damage if you get hit by them. This phase continues until the boss is at 8% health. Phase 3. This starts when the boss gets to 8% health. At 8%, the boss will start to missile salvo for the rest of the fight. So this is where he shoots missiles out at everyone in the group. So rather than running for cover, I suggest you just pile up and pop those defensive cooldowns while having the healers do as much AoE healing as possible, and you should be able to just burn through that last 8% relatively easily. Second boss, Gharj, if that's how you say it. This boss has the following abilities. Leap. The boss jumps into the air and does an AoE to everyone within melee range when he lands. Frenzy, just like Leap, he will jump but do it constantly. This will damage everyone within melee range. Pulverizing Slam, high damage single target attack. This will be used on the person with the most threat, so typically the main tank. Rending Swipe, this is a forward facing AoE. Smashing Leap, he will jump causing the platform to sink into the lava. For this boss, the tank should stay near the edge of the platforms while making sure the boss is faced away from the group to avoid getting hit by his forward-facing AoE. When he starts to leap, everyone except the tank should move away out of melee range. When he starts to use Frenzy, all the melee should stay out of melee range. Every minute or so, the boss will start to sink the platform that you are standing on, which will cause you to have to move over to a new platform. Little stepping stones will appear for the group to use to get to the next platform. Once you are on the new platform, the tank should get himself back into position at the edge of the platform, with the boss facing away from the rest of the group. Phase 2. At 50%, he will start to summon adds. Just have your off-tank pick them up, and all the DPS should focus on AoEing them down as fast as possible. If adds spawn while the platform is sinking, just move over to the new platform before killing the adds. During this phase, he can also do a knockback, causing everyone to get knocked into the lava. Just get back on the platform as fast as possible, although you should not have taken too much damage as the lava doesn't do a great deal of it. This fight is pretty much a tank and spank with some extra things thrown in. Third boss, Pylon Puzzle. This is different for both normal mode and hard mode, so I'll explain them both. Normal mode. You'll need to split the group into two. Each group should contain one tank and at least one healer. One group shall go to the north pylon while the other will go to the south pylon. Each pylon will look something like this. You will need to get the same icon in the middle row as it is on the left and the right. You can move the middle row by using the two consoles located at the base of the pylon. One will turn left while the other turns right. Once you land on the correct icon, that row will lock in, meaning you will not be able to move it again. This also means that it's correct. You will have to wait for the other group to also lock in their row before you can continue onto your next row. While doing this, there will be a decent flow of ants spawning, and you should kill these as not to get overwhelmed. As this is normal mode, there is no cooldown on using the console, and you can just repeatedly use the consoles until you land on the correct icon, which will then lock in that row. Once both pylons have been completed, the chest in the middle of the two pylons will unlock. Hard mode. In hard mode, you will still, just like in normal mode, have to split your group into two parts. Each group should contain a tank and at least one healer. And then one group shall go to the northern pylon while the other goes to the southern pylon. In hard mode, you will also have to lock in your icon at the exact same time the other group locks in theirs. The order of the tumblers for the right console will be blue, green, red, purple, white, yellow. The order of the tumblers for the left console will be yellow, white, purple, red, green, blue. So if for the top row you need a white icon, and it is currently on red, that means it would require 2 turns to the left. Always go to the direction which will require the least amount of turns, as there will be a 40-second cooldown on using the console. Also make sure to be in sync with the other group. Also have only one person turning the tumblers, as you get a debuff when using the consoles, and it will also avoid confusion. On hard mode, extra ads will spawn, so make sure as always to keep the ads down. Fourth boss, the Infernal Council. This is a simple fight and has no phases. There will be 3 different kinds of mobs here: Marauders, Assassins, and Juggernauts. Each member of the group must be assigned to one and only one mob. The DPS take the Marauders, the healers take the Assassins, and the tanks take the Juggernauts. You can buff up before the fight, but do not have any HOTS put up on party members before the fight starts. You are not allowed to help each other during this fight. If you do, the fight will end and you will have to start again. You can start the fight by using the large console at the entrance to the room. If you kill your mob and other party members are still fighting theirs, you still can't help them and you must wait until everyone has killed their mob. Once every mob has been killed, the chest at the edge of the room will unlock. Fifth and final boss, the SOA Infernal One. He will start off with a shield, making him completely immune to damage. You can still stack debuffs, however. So this is a great time to get all your debuffs stacked before the actual fight starts. This shield will drop as soon as he finishes his little speech. AoEs will spawn on the ground at random times. If one spawns on you, just quickly move out of it to avoid taking damage. Once the boss gets down to 75% health, he will become immune again. As soon as this happens, the entire group needs to stack up on top of each other in the outer part of the floor, preferably in the northern end. I must stress that for the purposes of organization, that everyone stacks up in the exact same spot. Having the group separating at this point will cause certain members to die in the next part. A short amount of time after the boss becomes immune, the whole inner part of the floor will get destroyed. Once this happens, you should be able to see a platform below the edge. You will have to jump onto that platform. More and more platforms will appear to form a stairway down to the floor. On each platform there will be an ancient power source. Destroying these will lower the damage of the boss in the next phase. The platform will get destroyed after a certain amount of time, so don't stick around too much. The entire group will also take fall damage as you jump from platform to platform, so AoE healing really helps here. Once you get to the bottom, heal up as the boss will reappear shortly. Phase 2. During this phase, the boss will randomly lock players into mind traps. As soon as someone gets locked into one of these, it is very important that the rest of the group destroys the mind trap to free the other player. Mind traps look like little white boxes on the floor. This boss will also randomly pick one player up at a time and start throwing them around, causing them to take damage. Nothing can really be done to avoid this. The boss will also spawn loads of lightning balls that will slowly follow players around until they get to you or until they blow up. They will blow up if they reach the player or after a certain amount of time. It is very important to not get hit by these, as they do a lot of damage and can really make it hard for the healers. Avoiding these pretty much makes this phase really smooth and easy. Once the boss is at 30%, he will become immune again, and you must repeat the stair-stepping process. It is exactly the same as before. Phase 3. The mind traps and the lightning bolts are still in this phase. The boss will also have an immunity shield up, which can only be broken if the boss gets hit by one of the floating pyramids that falls down. To do this, the tank will need to be looking up to see where the floating pyramid is, then position the boss under it. When the boss gets hit, the shield will drop. At this point, all the DPS should do as much damage as possible before the shield comes back up again. You should rinse and repeat this process until the boss dies. While the shield is up, the DPS should focus completely on the mine traps. You should have to break the shield around 4 times before killing the boss. It can also be good if the healers help out with damaging the boss while his shield is down. Every little helps here, otherwise he could enrage and wipe the entire group. Thank you very much for watching, guys. I hope this helps. Don't forget to subscribe for more Star Wars: The Old Republic related content. Thanks for watching.